Morning on the first day of 2022. Happy New Year. This is StandOut with Mr. Patrick, the first for the year, the first for the month, the very first happening in this season. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. Patrick himself, Mr. Patrick Uduma. Good morning.
Happy New Year, Sunny.
Happy New Year, Mr. Patrick. How are you doing?
Remarkable 2021.
Yes, it has been a wonderful one. Ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
Which is normal, even though sometimes it feels like we reflect on the downs more than the ups, but we've had a fair share.
But there's no down.
Down has started this year. Okay, there is no down. There is no down. Now, before we talk about today's focus, there's a theme for this year.
Yes.
StandOut's theme.
Rightness. Rightly do it.
Okay.
So there's a wrong way to do it you have done your life. But this year, we have to rightly do it on the individual level, on the family level,
okay,
on the corporate level, on the state level, and on the national level.
Did you notice that, so much wrong was going on? That's why you chose this, or you just felt, this was the time to just talk about it?
Well, I think there are seasons, and if we have gone through those wrong moments, we are thinking, must we continue in that path?
Okay, interesting. So you're hoping that on or before the end of 2022, more people are conscious of rightness. They understand the better way.
I love that word you talk about, conscious, because I think most of the time we allow our emotion to overrule us, rather to take a decision that will affect our lives. And we say you can't think wrongly and expect a right thing to happen.
That's true. Okay. So talking about consciousness, the unseen.
The unseen.
That's our focus for this morning.
That's our focus this morning.
Tell us about it.
So Happy New Year again. We'll try to bring the extraordinary to the ordinary. So welcome to the year of rightness. Year that you will rightly do it. We will further redefine our life pattern and standard. We will challenge status quo. We will step into our elevated self. We will activate our higher life. We will clothe into our undone life. As we will do life rather than life doing us in 2022. We will dwell in goodness. We will live in our promise. We will intentionally live the ideal self. We will refrain from the past hostage and live in the future self. The history event will no longer be the influencer. We will live in our imagination. We will live the best of our life. We are unconditioned by the past. Rather, the past will be the trainer. We will cultivate and culture our mind into advancement, productivity, meaning, wellness, and increase. We will consciously live in an established core value. We will tread sadness to joy. We will tread negativity to liveliness. We zoom and zero our mind in abundance than focus on lack. We will unlearn mediocrity and learn excellence. We are emotionally and mentally and spiritually ready to welcome this year to deliver the abundance and the resources due to us. I'm going to make a reference to a particular gentleman who wrote Matthew. Matthew said, Matthew chapter 25, is a story about the 10 virgins. It said 5 of them were foolish and the other 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps but did not take extra oil, extra strength, extra life with them, while the wise ones took containers full of oil for their lamps. And so what we're doing is to give you another oil, not the normal life. For unseen life requires deep insight on the mastery of the 5 levels of life. So there are 5 levels of life. If you master them, then the year will deliver to you. Number 1 is to have the elevated life, elevated perspective life. There's a life in your perspective. If you don't understand that, you are conditioned by what you see. Then if you continuously see the way you have seen life all these years, you will never live above the result of what you have achieved. So we call it elevated perspective life. Diversity and conflict resolution must be driven from elevated perspective. The quality and the beauty of your perspective will determine the quality of your life. See with the eyes of beauty, then beauty will deliver to you a beautiful life. Your elevated perspective must be rooted and financed in the foundation of rightness, goodness, fairness, in positivity, in creativity, in healthy thinking. Perspective is the key driver of healthy living. Someone may ask, but there's nothing beautiful. Beautiful thing don't create us, we create beautiful thing. The more you look at things from a wrong perspective, the more wrong things appear to you. So we're saying you may have looked at your life in 2021 as not beautiful. Look at yourself from a beautiful point and your life will transform. There's a second life, the elevated thought life. Life is in thought. Yes, feast on all the treasures of the heavenly realm and fill your thought with heavenly realities and not with distraction of the natural realm. Keep your thought continually fixed on all things that is authentic and real, honorable, admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thought on every glorious work of God, praising Him always, living good thoughts. Your beautiful thoughts will produce beautiful reality. Number 3, the elevated belief life. No more stereotyping belief or recycling belief system that has only reproduced same result. We are stepping into an elevated belief to create our desired life. Elevated belief is rooted in possibility. This is what influences creativity, wellness, manifestation, healing, promotion, and a happy life. The power of belief empowers you to the highest performance. Belief creates such strength and vision. It talks about it creates your will to survive, the resilience. It ignites and activates your true life. Number 4 life, elevated emotional life. Unhappy emotion produces unhappy life.
Say that again, please.
An unhappy emotion produces unhappy life. A joyful living is the dispenser of good life. An unhappy emotion creates an unhappy performance. Good feeling is the only way to good life. Good feeling is the only way to good life. Elevated emotion is peaceful. It's going to find peace. You find gratefulness. You find loving. You find caring, happy, living, generosity, beauty, and not suffering. A commitment not to engage in negativity, not to engage in fear, anxiety, worry, or hating. The last life is called the elevated action life. Life is character. A strong character is key to enduring success. Character is defined by your core essence. Elevated action creates confidence. Well-planned action challenges and outweighs past failures. Character failure will create failure life. Character creates trust. So the unseen. Because we don't focus our attention on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but the unseen realm is internal. This is the time of life when we are meant to turn inside and take what is inside to outside. This is the step to our journey this year. Because we're going to look at the things, the predictions, you will never step into 2022. But when you live inside, then you can outwit the predictions of 2022. Sight is the ability to see the physical world, and vision is the gift of seeing beyond. Sight enables us to take physical world so we can participate. So we're meant to participate, not the life participating in us. So our physical sight gives us knowledge. It gives us indication where we currently are. Vision gives you a clue where you ought to be. Clear vision of heaven must be the main influencer of our journey this year. Vision are not externally driven, rather internally focused. And it drives us and shows us how to navigate the realm of our perspective life, our thought life, our belief life, our emotional life, and our action life. It helps us to focus on the unmanifested reality while assuring us that we are not waiting in vain. For your deep feeling of the lovers of God cannot be in vain. I am God, the only and only one. I do not told you, seek me in vain or in emptiness or in dark nothingness, but I will establish you. So we're going to look at how you're going to get to the unseen world. Number one, you need to establish your source of influence. Sammy, remarkably, everything that have happened to me is because I get instruction from my influencer. Some days back, he told me you can't be diseased. That was not my thought. And from that moment, it changes my perspective about disease. It has introduced a new life that I can't be diseased. You might think I'm just saying, but hey, this is what I heard. Because no, I understand my core, who is my source of influence. And I followed this source of influence for years. And I've come down to a remarkable place. We have to gain knowledge. If you're going to go far this year, you have to be insightful. You have to resolve to think right and do right. You have to live in mindfulness of your elevated higher life. You have to cultivate a joyful and grateful attitude this year. If there's any year that we need to dance into our future, it is this year. If there's any year we're going to be happy, we're going to be happy to outwit the negativity of life. We're going to root our thought in goodness. We're going to be strong in our value life. Let God's word be the focal and main drive of your life. Hey, Happy New Year. Rightly do it. Rightly think. Rightly lead. Rightly follow. Rightly govern. Rightly manage. Dwell in goodness. Live the higher life. Be in elevation. Happy New Year. Happy 2022.
Okay. That was quite the revelation. So, for most of the points you made, there was the word elevated attached for all 5 of them.
Yes.
And you spoke heavily on the need to see beauty in ugliness.
Yes.
Now, my question is, if you're going through a difficult situation, of course, you would advise that there is no down. Do you create the beauty that is make it out of nothing, or do you change the already existing situation into a beautiful one?
So this is how it is, right? Have you got into your life where you wanted to travel, you get into your car, the car went down, you fixed that tire, and the battery, why is it the battery run down? And before, a lot of things restricted you, you just gave up, right? Now, 2 days after, you heard that something happened on that road. You see, that's where we want people to look at that. Affliction sometimes is a signal for elevation or preservation.
Sometimes. Okay.
Do you understand? So now, we have also found out, and scientifically it's been proven, that people who see light in darkness command the darkness and command light into their dark world. Why do you think that most great achievers go to the best place of life to have vacation? It conditions them that there's a better life, there's a higher life. So it brings them to that place. So they walk from that vision to their current reality.
Yeah.
But if you stay in there and think that way, there's nothing to hope for.
Okay.
So we're saying at any point in time, right, your vision that is not seen is a great driver of hope.
Interesting. Okay, what's happening with StandOut this year?
It's an awesome program. We want to get into the corporate world. Don't pay us, but we'll make money for you. Because when your employees think right and do right, it affects the performance.
Indeed. So any engagements, any meetings?
We will give you full detail as we progress.
Wonderful. All right. How do you connect with StandOut online?
StandOut, www.soistandart.com. The social media remains So I Stand Out. It's going to be well documented, well articulated.
Wonderful.
Because we want to make sure that people own their life. People express their life this year in fullness.
Okay, and to connect with you?
08033411451. 08033411451.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patrick. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Sunny.